Okay, so you've probably heard this word thrown around, right? Neuroplasticity. It sounds super scientific, maybe a little intimidating, but what does it really mean? Well, today we're going to break that down, because honestly, getting this one concept, it changes everything about how you see your brain and your potential to change.
So let's just get right to the big question here. Is your brain basically set in stone? Once you're an adult, is that it? Are you just stuck with the wiring you've got? For a long time, that's pretty much what everyone thought. But the science? Oh, the science tells a way, way more exciting story.
At its absolute core, neuroplasticity is simply this: the brain's ability to change. It's not some static piece of computer hardware. No, it's a living, dynamic system that's constantly being modified by every single thing you experience. And it turns out, that's not just a cool feature. It's the whole point.
And get this isn't just some neat trick the brain can do. This ability to be modified by the world around us, that's the fundamental reason the nervous system even exists. Its entire job is to take in the world and be changed by it.
So, how does this all work? Well, you can kind of think about it in two big phases, and we're going to start with the first one, which is the really dramatic one: developmental plasticity. Seriously, it's like a young brain's superpower.
I just love this phrase from the research. It describes the developing brain as exquisitely plastic. Not just plastic, but exquisitely so. It just perfectly captures this unbelievable capacity for change and organization that's happening in those early years.
And we are not talking about small tweaks here. This is like a massive, system-wide construction project. The developing brain is literally growing new cells, moving them into the right neighborhoods, giving them jobs, and then wiring them all together to form trillions of connections. This is how the entire architecture of your brain gets built from the ground up.
Now here's what's super interesting. All this intense remodeling, it's on a clock. It happens during these special windows of time that scientists call critical periods. A perfect example is learning a language, right? It's so much easier when you're a kid. Why? Because your brain is right in the middle of a critical period for language, and that exquisite plasticity is firing on all cylinders.
Okay, but what happens after those critical periods close up? Does all the construction work just stop? Well, that brings us to phase 2, the renovation phase, and this is the one that's happening in your brain right now.
So, does all that incredible change just grind to a halt once you're an adult? Is the construction site just closed for business? The answer is a huge, resounding no. But, and this is a big but, the kind of change is totally different.
Here's the best way to think about it. If developmental plasticity is building a whole new city from scratch, laying down highways, the power grid, the whole shebang, then adult plasticity is like renovating that city. You're not building new freeways anymore. Instead, you're strengthening the roads that get used a lot and weakening the ones that don't. It's a constant, lifelong process of refinement. So the crucial point for us as adults is this: our brain's plasticity isn't so much about building new structures. It's almost all about changing the strength of the connections, the synapses that are already there. Every time you learn a new skill, form a memory, or break a habit, you are actively, physically changing how strong those connections are.
Now we got to keep this grounded in reality, right? The adult brain is definitely not static, not at all. But the science is also pretty clear that huge, large-scale repairs, like say regrowing a major pathway after a serious injury, that's still incredibly tough. The potential's there, for sure, but we're just not that great at harnessing it yet.
Okay, so up to this point, plasticity sounds awesome, right? It's how we learn, how we adapt, how we grow. But there's a twist, and it's a big one. This amazing ability to change is actually a double-edged sword.
Think about it. If the brain's #1 job is to be changed by experience, what happens when the changes themselves are, well, bad? What happens when that rewiring process goes haywire? And this is where it gets really serious. That exact same mechanism that lets you learn to play the piano or speak a new language, that very process can also be the root cause of some really serious neurological and psychiatric disorders.
For instance, some research links schizophrenia to problems way back in that early developmental phase, when neurons weren't migrating to the right places. With Alzheimer's, we see damaging changes happening to the synapses themselves. So you see, it's not that the brain stops being plastic. It's that the plasticity itself is now causing harm.
And there's a name for this. It's called maladaptive plasticity. It's when the brain's rewiring doesn't help you adapt, but instead leads straight to dysfunction and disorder. It's a pretty sobering thought, isn't it? that change itself isn't automatically good. It's all about where that change takes you.
Okay, so after all of that, the good and the bad, let's zoom back out. Let's get back to the big, powerful idea at the very heart of all this. Why does any of this really matter?
It brings us back to this incredible conclusion from the research. Neuroplasticity isn't just a feature of the nervous system. It's the whole reason it exists in the first place. The ability to change is the point.
It really all boils down to this simple, fundamental loop. Step 1, the environment gives you some kind of input. Step 2, your brain is physically modified by that input. And Step 3, your brain turns that change into an output, a thought, an action, a memory. And that loop, it is running in your head every single second of every single day.
So, if there's one thing to take away from all of this, it's this. Please, stop thinking of your brain as a static computer. It's not. It is a dynamic, living sculpture, and it's constantly being shaped and reshaped by the chisel of your experiences.
And so that leaves us with one final, pretty powerful question. A question that takes all this science and puts it right in your lap. If your brain is literally being built and rebuilt every single day by the inputs you give it, then the real question is, what are you feeding yours?